welcome to Pen to Paper. This is something new that I'm doing with my friend Em.
Hi.
First time. And literally, you can't see it, but there's a hot mess, and we're both hot messes, specifically me. I tried to do this with like a dual camera setting that wasn't working out, and then nothing's been working out. But here we are to talk Christmas. And Em's book from, when did you publish this again?
December 1st, 2022, so
Okay.
slightly over a year ago.
So a book anniversary, guys. You get to join us.
Book anniversary.
And we have a beautiful hot chocolate bar that's messy. Cheers. Merry Christmas, everyone, early. And we got some beautiful marshmallows.
Treats as
and
well.
treats. So if you are wanting to get into the Christmas spirit, grab your hot chocolates. And you're going to hear all about Em's new book, Christmas.
Ginger cookies, very important to the story.
Oh, yum, yeah.
Well,
This is so good.
thank you for having me first off. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's already fun.
It's already been fun. Yeah, I had kids trying to follow us into my studio too. So, yeah, in the rain, in the cold, with no jacket. All the behind the scenes stuff, fun stuff that you guys are missing out on. But we're here to have fun with you.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. And we're moms, so I mean, there's a plan, change of plans, there's no plan.
Exactly.
Mom
yeah.
life.
Yeah, it is mom life. Although I really do try to have some sort of plan, or else it would probably be even a hotter mess. So, So speaking of plans, what was the plan for this book? How did you come upon the idea of the series and then the single book itself and how that all works together?
Sure. Well, funnily enough, this book started as a plot bunny. Have you heard that expression before?
Yes.
So a plot bunny is sort of an idea that won't go away and just gets bigger and bigger as it rolls around in your mind. Something akin to a dust bunny. So this started as a plot bunny that I wasn't sure I was going to pursue. I told a girlfriend of mine, what if these two people went to a coffee shop, and ordinarily when you go to a coffee shop you offer the barista your name. Sometimes they get it wrong, and suddenly Emily's coffee turns into Amy's coffee. In this case, it's a twist. Because my two main characters have the same name, Danny and Danny, well, the barista got the name right. However, because they have the same name, they switched the coffees anyway.
There you go.
So,
I'm glad it didn't become a dust bunny.
yeah.
Wait, that's a plot bunny.
Well, when I told my girlfriend about that, she's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I said, well, I don't think I'm going to write this book. But then I kept telling her more about it, and she let me. She's like, Emily, you are quite invested in this idea that you're not going to write. Maybe you should write it. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, because then if you write it, then you'll know for sure. Like, okay, I'm just going to shelf it, or you need to get it off your chest, or I'm actually going to bring it into the world as a book that people can read.
Exactly. Right. I've been a writer or writing for a very long time, but none of my work in progresses or my completed manuscripts had actually seen the light of day. I wasn't ready yet. But for whatever reason, this plot bunny needed to come into the world, and here it is. My first published work, and as you said correctly, it is the first in a series, in that they will all bear the name, excuse me, Alixandria Fire, but they will center on a different couple each time. So in this one, you'll get to know Danny and Danny. The next one, we'll find different characters. So Danny and Danny will fade to the background. You might hear about them every so often, but they won't be the focus.
Yeah.
The place and setting will be the same, so you'll get very familiar with walking around town. And we'll learn more about a different couple each time.
That's really exciting. So we do have some people in. I'm just going to say hi to them.
Hi.
We have Innovation That Excites. Hi. So let me show that. And love your Christmas outfits. Me too. This is the first time I'm doing a Christmassy outfit.
Yeah.
Is it your first time this year? Or did you already do Christmas sweater?
Not publicly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have Cool Gamer. Hey. So if you're seeing me go back and forth, I have my computer screen, and this is going to enable me to see your questions, comments, and so I can show them.
And in all honesty, I'm a newbie to this, so I haven't quite figured out where I'm supposed to look.
Oh, so when we're talking, you can look at me.
Okay, I'll look at your beautiful face.
And I'll look at yours. And then if you want to say something more direct to the viewers, then you can look there. But overall, this is actually working.
Yeah.
More than I thought it would. So there you go. Yes. Okay. So you mentioned that you've been a writer most of your life. Do you want to kind of share a little extra something special that happened this year that kind of brought you a blast to the past in your past with writing?
Yeah.
When landed you your first TV slot, right?
Yes, it did. It did. Well, as mentioned, yes, I've been writing for a very long time. However, when I was 14, I entered a contest that is held by the Ottawa Public Library. It's called the Awesome Authors Contest, where youth can submit their works, be it a poem, a short story, what have you. And I won my division.
That's amazing.
Yeah, in 1997.
We won't share her age here.
Well, I mean, we can do math. I'm clearly not. Yeah, I've aged just a little since then.
There you go. And you've aged wonderfully.
Oh, thank God. So I entered that contest. I won my age division. That was lovely. But it sort of planted a seed that, oh, okay, people that aren't related to me kind of think that I might be able to write, which is great. However, life intervened, as it happens, and I didn't actually pursue anything to do with it. But when I released this book, I decided to look up to see if awesome authors still existed. And it does. So I contacted the organizers and said, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
And they offered, or they asked me to be a part of their closing ceremonies, their awards ceremonies, and I was their guest speaker.
That's really,
it was really
cool.
Really cool.
So I just want to share, guys, if you don't seek or ask, you will not receive, right?
That's true.
You actually went to your old stomping grounds. It's worth it to like check out the past and those wonderful memories.
Yeah.
And something might come out of it.
You never know. And this book has actually brought me on quite a journey of saying yes and creating my own opportunities.
Yeah.
You're quite right. If you don't ask, it's certainly not going to happen. The worst they can say is no, and that's okay. But it might branch into something else. As you mentioned, being part of this year's awards ceremony for the Awesome Authors contest brought me my first TV spot. Which was
exciting.
It was very exciting. It was also really nerve-wracking, simply because it was in my second language. I did it in French. Yeah,
that's amazing.
But it was also helpful because since I did do it in French, after that, what's going to scare me?
Exactly.
I managed.
Yep.
I didn't fall on my face.
Nope.
Not completely.
Nope. You were very graceful about it. Very articulate.
So I thought, okay, well, if I can manage this, well, let's just go. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah. Do you find, like, as an author, that there's these milestones that you want to hit, and then once you attain them, you know, you put the hard work in, you attain it, and then it's not as scary anymore, and then you kind of look for the next milestone.
Up the ante a little bit.
Yeah. Like it's a little bit more serious, a little bit more tension, but you know you can handle it because you did the previous one.
Exactly. It's not sales are fun. It's not about the sales.
No.
But my first goal was let's see if I can sell a book to somebody who I'm not related to.
Okay.
Well, I did that.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah. Exactly. You've done a lot.
And then it was let's see if I can get on TV. And I did. And then I did it twice.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I guess the next goal is how about a speaking engagement of some sort? Maybe I can speak to a school group.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
Yeah. So you should definitely contact, local town and
shall do.
Yeah.
Another one of my goals was to get into Indigo chapters.
Yeah.
And I
remember that one for myself.
Yeah.
That one was like very, like, not scary, exciting, but
very exciting.
Because you're self-published, you don't know if they're going to accept, but your book looks great, and so they do take books that, they have a nice look to them.
And so I accomplished that goal on my birthday this year.
Oh, it was on your birthday.
It was my very first chapters Indigo signing on my birthday this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yes. And a good amount or enough or not, again, as you said, it's not even about sales. It's about meeting those people, readers,
and basically everyone who walked into the store that day knew it was my birthday.
Oh,
because I could speak now. So excited.
The characters that you're working on now, one of them
doesn't know if they're going to tell the truth about something. But you started the Alexandria Fire series with Danny and Danny,
Yes.
who their meet cute was they got their names switched at a coffee shop because both of their names are Danny. And
so they got each other's coffee.
Yeah, and then, well, they meet, and I'm not going to tell you how because you have to actually read the book, either buy it. Is it available on Kindle Unlimited?
Unlimited, no.
Okay,
yeah.
So Kindle, paperback. Yeah. So, what made you decide to invest in Danny and Danny? Like, what was it about the characters that just drew you in? Because you say your characters speak to you, and they
were very loud.
Oh, they were very loud. Okay, so they present a story. So, was it because they were so loud that they just had to be heard, or was there? Okay,
pretty much. They were so loud. They were quite demanding, actually.
Oh, really?
And they just would not go away. I had used the analogy hot bunny.
Yes.
Earlier, and they just kept hopping around in my mind, and they would not let me go.
Yeah.
Until I listened.
Okay.
And so we also talked about plotting versus being a pantster.
Mm-hmm.
And while I knew that as a romance story, there were certain things that might have to happen.
Yeah.
It was really listening to the characters and seeing where they wanted to go and their issues and their obstacles that they had to overcome that drew me in. I was interested. I wanted to know their story.
Yeah, yeah. So do you find that writing for yourself is a good indicator of like what a good story is because you want to read it, so probably other people want to read it?
I would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have gotten lost in this story a few times. Forgotten I've written it. I know what happened.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. You're excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially when I've done my own writing, I come to scenes that I'm super excited to write. And yeah, you just get lost in them, and it's just this great flow that you have. So did you have a lot of those?
I did.
Okay.
The way I write, or I hope to write, is that it's a movie in my head.
Yes.
And I try and transcribe what's in my head down on page as accurately as I can.
Yeah.
And I find that's how I know it's going well. If the movie stops, I'm in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's true. So just a little recap. We are doing hot chocolate bar treats. If you want to join us, wear your Christmas sweater if that's something else I want to do.
Get into the festive spirit.
Yeah.
This is actually really good, by the way. Really tasty.
Yeah. Oh, okay, guys. It's Starbucks salted caramel hot chocolate. Let me I'm going to quickly check on one of the cameras. It's still going. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that there was still juice going on it. Yeah. Okay. And there's so feel free to ask any questions in the chat below. Em will answer you. Yes, we're frozen. Okay, hopefully. There's just been a lot of issues here, but hopefully
the weather is not on our side. It's freezing right now.
That's true.
So,
I forgot to mention that, but hopefully the recording will be okay. This will go live on the YouTube, and then I will get a recording in, and then we'll stream it back up, and hopefully that will be okay. And we'll put it at where it actually begins, and not that whole section of nonsense.
Well, we're very animated.
Yeah, exactly. We were really into it, and I feel bad because they were all lost.
So, a plot twist.
Exactly. Yeah. So, without giving away too much, what was your favorite scene to write in this book, or one of your top favorite scenes to write in this book?
It's the scene that people are pretty uncomfortable with, and it causes stress.
Oh.
It's the horse rescue scene. The horse rescue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite scenes too, because it's about horses.
Yes.
And big lover of horses.
Yes, same.
And
both
so are you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I actually felt it was very realistic too. Like it wasn't contrived.
Not at all.
And you said it actually comes from?
It is based on a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you see that true story? I can't remember if you were a witness to it or you knew someone who went through it, or
I was there.
You were there. That's right. Okay.
I was standing on the ice.
Oh my goodness.
Thinking through it too.
Yeah, you're so brave.
I don't think I was particularly helpful.
Okay.
But I was there.
Well, you were there for the horse's emotional support.
I was actually.
There you go.
It really was.
Because yeah, horses definitely need emotional support, and if they're bonded to you and they're in distress, they need that calming presence to help them out, and that's what you were. So you're a hero.
It was.
Christmas hero, everybody.
Okay. So yes, what I like to do as a writer, and I'm sure many writers do
Yes.
this, they imbue parts of their lives into their stories in one manner or another, fictionalized or not.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to, well, I just told you what part was true, but
Yes.
if there's anything else in the book that may have a seed of truth, I won't tell you.
Okay, yes, that's right. Because that could be characters, it could be scenes. But this is actually based on your hometown, right?
It is. I live in Alexandria, and although the title of the book is spelt differently,
Yes.
because it is a work of fiction,
Yeah.
it is inspired by, the setting is inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're familiar with the town, then you would recognize places that I describe.
Exactly. Which, when I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, that's Alexandria.
Obviously.
I mean, I don't live in Alexandria. I live 18 minutes from it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's recognizable, and I really do love the hometown the town that I live in, rather.
Yeah.
So it was nice to use it as inspiration.
Yeah. So would you say that this is definitely equivalent to a Hallmark small town romance?
Yes.
That if you enjoy watching Hallmark.
Yes, it's definitely Hallmark versus anything racier.
Yes.
It's very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I describe it as closed door.
Yeah.
There's kissing.
Yeah.
There's joking.
Mm-hmm.
There's innuendo.
Yeah.
However, you close the door firmly and
Yes.
quite literally
Yes.
when it comes to anything more than that.
Yes. Yeah. And is that like something that you just prefer to read yourself, or you just wanted to reach a maybe broader audience with that kind of closed door theme?
It wasn't really a conscious decision.
Okay.
Again, we go back to my characters. It's
Yeah.
just what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
As strange as it sounds, I didn't want to disrespect their privacy.
Yeah. Exactly.
I didn't need to go there.
It's so true.
They didn't bring me in. They did not want me there. That's fine.
That's very good. I think that maybe more characters' privacies should be.
Although,
I mean,
nothing
there's some
wrong.
stories.
Some stories that
it
absolutely
works.
work, and I have read those stories.
Yes.
And they have a place.
Yes,
For
exactly.
However, for Danny and Danny, that was not what they wanted. So I had to respect that.
Yeah, and do you feel that the rest of the other characters for your other books, do they seem to be emanating that kind of need for privacy as well?
They'll follow suit.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I've started this way, I don't think that a sudden sharp left is going to work.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing. So tell us some of your writing quirks.
Well, one of the things I do, and actually it's a funny thing that many of the people, women I guess in my family do, is we'll suddenly just leave. Our focus will go. We could be in the middle of a conversation and I'll just leave.
Oh.
And I'm working.
Well, maybe I've noticed that, but it's not incredibly, it doesn't seem rude. It doesn't come from a bad place.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, no, what's funny is I get that from my husband.
Oh.
You know, like you're saying something and all of a sudden,
Like
you
I'm
can
suddenly
tell,
working.
glazing out,
Yeah,
his head somewhere else.
Yeah. I remember I was making a sandwich for someone.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what they were talking about. I just left.
Oh.
And
how did you get back? How do you find your way back? For whoever has issues like that.
well, she was just looking at me, and I suddenly realized, okay.
Oh no.
And she goes, "Were you writing in your head?" I'm like, yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
so
You were taking what I was saying and turning it into something.
Exactly. So that's definitely a quirk of mine that I just, the story takes over and I can't.
Yeah.
Something I do about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that happens to me in the car.
So
I'm
the car
driving.
is a great place for me to write in my head.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
wonderful.
that's what I do. And then I try to listen to audiobooks in the car,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work. I leave the audiobook. So
Uh-oh.
I'm not talking to someone, but I'll be listening to the audiobook, and then all of a sudden I've left, and I come back and I'm like, wait, how did we get from there to there? Now, for some books it's okay, but other books,
You have to pay attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
It's fine. Yeah. See, I have not actually listened to an audiobook yet, even though
Oh.
I would like to put Danny and Danny into an
Yeah.
audiobook at some point. I
Yeah.
do have the equipment.
Okay.
But as I'm sure you're familiar, when have children,
Yeah.
silence and time,
Yes.
they don't seem to meet very often.
Exactly.
It's usually at 1 o'clock in the morning, and nobody
Yeah.
wants to be doing anything at that point. time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that is a goal of mine to do at some point.
Okay. Now, would you narrate it yourself, or would you get an actor or a voice actor to do it?
Well,
You're not too sure.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind doing the female part.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't know who I would get to do the male part.
Okay.
I've asked my husband.
I was gonna ask. Can you rope your husband into
That is a hard pass.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. He's like, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
He never wanted to be a voice actor?
I guess not. I guess not.
I guess not.
Was not a dream of his.
Oh, well.
That's it.
Yeah.
So either I find a male,
Yeah.
or I I'm making a mess. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Ginger cookie, here we come.
Or I find two people to do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally.
Too.
Because clearly that's their profession, that's what they're doing. They will have the silence and the time.
That's right. Yeah. I actually did do an audiobook for my first one.
Oh.
But theater style. So I got different people to play different parts.
Oh, fun.
Except the problem was, when we got together, we would laugh a lot. Like a lot. There's a ton of bloopers. Like you could have a whole blooper section.
Sounds amazing.
From this book. It was an amazing experience. And I still have all the files. It's a lot of editing to do. You know, I'm busy writing and I'm busy with my other life. And I'm thinking sometimes, okay, I can do the editing. And then it's just taking a really long time. So I need to get to the spot where I can find someone to edit it. But again, that's
it's on the list.
It's on the list. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, it's a very long list for both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. One step at a time. It's not a race.
Exactly.
And to sound corny, it's the journey.
It's the journey
The journey.
of writing this Christmas season awesome book. I'm dubbing you this season's Queen of Christmas.
Where's my crown?
How do you like that? Oh shoot, I didn't get the crown. I'm such a terrible host. I can go get a wreath. I have an empty wreath. That will look very bare. I was looking at my wreaths today and I was thinking, oh, I should like decorate it for a Christmas wreath. I have like a, I guess you would say like a Halloween. It's not, I don't really put it out for Halloween, but whenever I do my murder mystery parties, I have this Edgar Allan Poe inspired mystery party, and it's black and it's got like this skull on it.
Oh.
And it just goes with the party theme. So I've got that wreath, and then I've got my August fall wreath.
Oh.
And then no Christmas. So I should really do Christmas.
I think we need to add Christmas.
Yes, we should add Christmas. I love Christmas, but I'm not a huge decorator. This year I'm going a little bit more in.
Oh, fun.
Your book has inspired me.
Oh.
So how much of a presence does Christmas have in your book?
I think it's relatively gentle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Christmas threw up all over the book.
Exactly.
It's winter. I mean, there's snow, there's,
Yes.
terrible driving.
Yeah.
But it's not overwhelmingly Christmas and shoved down your throat.
We have a few new people here. So Margaret Pinard, she's actually another author, friend of mine, and booktuber and author-tuber, and she says these Christmas sweaters and what a holiday spread and feast. Our cookies are making someone hungry.
Ooh, yes, well,
Smiley face.
sorry, not sorry.
Yes. But guys, this is really, free, just flowing. So grab your Christmas sweater. You have time, and grab some cookies and hot chocolate and just make it and eat it with us. It's fun.
Now, I said that it's not overwhelmingly Christmas, but
Yes.
there is a scene at a Christmas tree farm,
I remember
which I really like.
Yes, I love the whole idea of Christmas tree farm.
And that came to me whole, that chapter.
Really?
Like, I don't think there was a heck of a lot of editing that went into it.
Okay.
In terms of changing the scene. That's the way it was from the get-go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet. That's nice. When you don't have to edit your work too much, because it can be very painful when you do. Yes.
It can be.
Yeah.
You have to make some harsh decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
What to keep, what to not keep.
Mm-hmm. What to elaborate on? Because maybe you thought it was actually great, but then it turns out you would need a lot more meat.
Or you've put too much in.
Yes, exactly.
And that was actually my problem.
With this?
Oh, okay. I put way more in than my my beta readers who I would check things with.
Yeah.
Okay, Emily, let's calm down. You don't need to repeat this for the 9th time.
Oh,
we know.
Yeah. Repetition is definitely a turn off.
Well, I mean, this is my learning book. And also I'm a rule breaker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tend to abide by what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So I think
So in writing, in terms of writing, how would you say you broke the rules on this or wanted to break the rules on this? I'm curious. Because I tend to be, at least with grammar, I tend to be a very rule keeper. Like, you know, the comma's got to be in the right section, and the periods, and the dashes, and the hyphens. Like,
that's an editor's job for me. I'm like, I just write the book. It looks pretty.
Yes.
Because of someone else. The way I broke a rule in this is that I think there's a word count that you're supposed to have for each genre.
Oh.
And romance is
Oh.
a lot, right?
Who cares about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And somebody did tell me, they're like, oh, it's kind of long. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm guessing now that I'm thinking about it, it's true. Usually with romance books, they tend to be what? It's
Like 90,000.
really.
It's pretty small.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is 110,000.
12?
12? Okay.
I don't know, something like that.
But yeah, I mean, it's thick, guys, but it's actually really, oh, sorry. I'm like just slamming her cookie wafer for her.
Cookies for you.
No, it's actually really easy to go through.
No,
so
it's quick.
it's funny. I picked this up from you. When did I get it from you? Oh, yes, the library. Okay, so I was at my local library, and I knew that she was coming in, and I had forgotten to put it in my phone, and then I was dropping by my library, and then there she is, and I'm like, oh, but I have to be somewhere, and I have all my kids, and ended up staying, so it was fate. And we just got along really well. I bought her book, so I read your book March, but you know, it was still snowy. Well, at that time, maybe no.
Slushy.
Actually, no. Well, I was in Vermont at that time with a friend's group retreat, and I brought this book. So, but it still wasn't like too out of season to read it, and it was really easy to go through. I mean, it's a lot of words, but it doesn't feel like 112,000 words.
Yeah, it's not complicated. It doesn't bog you down.
No.
I find.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people say that they've read it within two days or two sittings rather.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think it's very approachable.
Yes, for sure. In a lot of different ways. The content,
yes,
the words, the meet cute, which seems to be the in thing. Actually, it's the first time I heard that word from you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hadn't heard about meet cute before.
Oh,
like yeah, but then now I'm starting to hear it everywhere in Hallmark movies, which I started watching.
So what happens when you learn something or
Exactly.
you see something for the very first time? Suddenly you see it everywhere.
Yes,
You're like, how did I not know this?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was really behind the bandwagon on that, but
I didn't know what a trope was until I joined the writing community.
Oh,
on
really?
Instagram.
oh, okay, there you go.
I didn't even really notice that a lot of books had the same type of things going on. I was like, oh, that works. Okay, fine.
Yes, yeah.
But these are things I learned during this writing process.
Yeah.
That now I can use them and I sound professional. Like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Me neither. Even after 2 books, 4 books. No, it's okay. This is the way I've learned it, is that you are an expert to the person starting out, to the person who knows less than you. But then there's always going to be someone who knows more than you, and they're an expert to you, right? And so we all learn from each other.
Exactly.
And as long as you have like an open mind to learning from whoever is around you, I think it goes pretty well.
Yeah, and you'll figure out what works for you
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
Advice is absolutely wonderful. Tips and tricks are great, but you need to know what will work and what will be true to your story and to you as an author.
Exactly. Yeah. So what are 2 advices or tips that you want to give to maybe beginning authors or maybe authors that have started, but they could still learn from you?
It's funny you ask that. And I think these have been things that I've seen on Instagram, possibly even memes, but they're absolutely true. Somebody out there is waiting for your story. You are going to be someone's favorite author someday. And even though you might think that the story's already been written, not the way you've done it.
Exactly.
So your voice is going to change it. It's unique.
Yeah.
Even if the tropes are the same or the meet cute might be the same.
Yeah.
It won't be the same because you'll have your unique spin, your voice, your experiences, and your style.
I love that.
Yeah.
So there's hope for all of us.
Absolutely.
Even if you feel that you're doing like maybe even fan fiction, You feel like you're borrowing a lot from
I used to do
material?
fan fiction.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I never did fan fiction. I
No.
never even read fan fiction.
I didn't.
But
know
I
it.
just
Well, I didn't
knew.
know what it was when I did it.
Okay.
I just thought I was writing and like, you know, doing alternate storylines for things.
So what fan fiction did you do? Now I'm curious.
So
Let me guess. Twilight? No, I'm joking.
no, God, I actually only read
That
the
was-
first Twilight. No.
Oh, okay. That was like the fan fiction I knew of that people did. And then Star Wars. And then,
Yeah, no,
That makes sense.
you may not have even heard of this series. It's called Thoroughbred. And it
No.
was a horse farm.
Oh.
And I just took the characters and did other things with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So I rewrote the lives of various thoroughbred characters. Not the
Okay.
horses, but the people.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it's like those are horses.
They are horses. Yeah, no, it was a series based on a racing farm or steeplechasing, or I'm not sure. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I really loved those books. I think they still exist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the authors ended the series, but there's
Okay.
something like 30 odd books to them.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
So I was into Heartland.
Oh,
And then
Yes.
I was like raving to my mom. I was like, they need to make a movie or a TV show. And then guess what they did? I was so excited when it first came out.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen the TV show, but yes,
Okay.
I love it as well.
Yeah. Okay, so that was number one, that everyone has their own unique voice, unique spin. It's your story, even if it seems similar to others. What's your second piece of advice?
Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
If not now, when?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, it's scary to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, I got to the point where it was scarier not to,
Mm.
because I just had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just put those words down. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm-mm.
At some point, you have to let go. I mean, I
Yeah.
could go on editing and changing things
Oh, yeah?
forever
Okay.
about whatever story,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point, just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Be in the world. It's okay.
Because you learn from it. And
Yeah.
even if you don't make mistakes, which you are going to make mistakes.
Of course.
I think every writer makes a mistake.
Absolutely.
Unless maybe you're like one of the greats, but even then you might.
You can aspire to be a great, but you have to make mistakes on the way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
you
have to make
become
those
great without making
mistakes.
mistakes.
Learn from the reviewers, what people are saying, and then incorporate that into your next book.
Exactly.
And then keep going on that way. So
So my next book will be different in that I'll have learned
Mm.
so much from this one.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it'll be slightly easier for me to edit because I won't have made so many of the same mistakes.
yeah,
The first time
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you might make new mistakes. And
Oh,
that's okay,
probably.
because you're going to learn from
Exactly.
it.
It's fine. I always
Yeah.
say this is my learning book, and this is the book that I'm
Mm.
taking to say yes with.
Yeah.
Yes to whatever opportunity. Yes, I'm going to create my own opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to ask the questions. Because why not?
Yeah, exactly. What have you got to lose? Except, what have you got to lose?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, if you're not being too serious about it. Maybe if you are being too serious about it, you're thinking too much about what do people think of me,
Mhm.
then I can see how that would be harder. But then let's train ourselves not to think that way, to just be like, yeah, let's go for it and see what happens.
Let's try.
Yeah,
Let's try.
exactly. So we do have one comment
Oh.
here. Okay. We have World Market is selling big thermoses that say hot cocoa and chill, and it is cringe. Is it cringe or is it perfect? Oh, that's a good question.
Sorry.
So the big thermoses, I guess like that, right? Let's show it. This
Massive
is like this,
thermos.
Margaret. That says hot cocoa and chill. Is it cringe or is it perfect? What would you say? Cringe, like, oh, like that's kind of like tacky, or would you say that's like really cool?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine to me.
Yeah.
I don't feel cringe with it.
No, I think that would be. I like little logos on thermoses, and
Little
like
saying.
exactly. That's great. Did someone? Okay, yeah. So those are the comments for now. Remember, you can ask any questions about M's book,
Or my writing journey, or the
Danny,
future.
Alixandria Fire series. We are going to get into some future stuff in a little bit. And how do you view yourself as an author? Like, do you have an end goal vision of who you want to be as an author, or are you just kind of taking it as it comes?
I'm taking it as it comes. I would like to complete this series.
Yeah.
And then see who else is rattling around in there that
Okay.
needs their story told.
Do you think you would be like a series person even after this, or would you try something like a single novel, or you're not
I've
sure?
always gravitated towards series.
Okay.
Before I published this, I was working on other things, but I would do the same thing in that I would take each character, they each have their own full-blown story,
Yeah.
and although they were linked.
Okay.
So I really like getting into the nitty gritty and learning about one character at a time and letting them have their voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I like that too. That's kind of what I'm doing with my series too.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I can't just leave it at one. I'm too curious about. I like going down the rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you want to share a little bit about what we can expect from book 2? Because you had this kind of wavering dilemma, and then you made a decision. Do you want to share a little bit of how that journey was for you?
Well, I am currently working on books 2 and 3 at the same time.
Oh, you're doing it at the same time? Okay.
Right now, the one that I had been focused on is taking a rest. It probably has a nearly completed first draft.
Okay.
But it needs to rest so I can go back and look at it with fresh eyes, change things around, do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Because, as I mentioned earlier, characters can be very loud.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, these other 2 characters are speaking quite loudly to me, and they're demanding their time in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So I'm exploring them. So it's a case of putting away the first draft of one and working on the first draft of another.
How do you juggle, I guess, dealing with those emotions and those voices with maybe perhaps the expectation that you wanted to put out a book at a certain time? Like, did you have a deadline for yourself?
I did.
And then how did you work through those feelings? Like, it wasn't going as you had hoped it was going.
Yeah, and I told everybody that it was going to happen on a certain date, basically, or a certain time frame. And I just had to give myself some grace and some patience. And it is a work in progress. It's called that for a reason.
Yes.
And I just have to be kind to myself and understand that I need the time, and I want to make sure that the characters and the story are done properly. I don't want to rush it.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, second book syndrome, imposter syndrome, is a real thing.
Really? Well, I know there's imposter syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
You kind of feel, well, I've felt it so far, not so much with the sequel novellas, but like with every standalone novel, I felt it a little bit. But then, maybe, is it just with the second book though? Or
I don't know yet.
Okay. I hope it's not every book. I'm thinking and hoping that with every book you do, it goes away a little less.
I thought the second book was going to be easier because I'm like, I've done this.
Yeah.
I know how to do it.
Yes.
In that I kind of have a rough idea of the structure.
Yeah.
But then there's all these self-imposed expectations that it should look a certain way, it should happen a certain way, and that can really bog you down sometimes, and you start second guessing.
Yeah.
But again, I have to give myself grace and time and just exhale a lot.
Yes, yeah. So do you find being a writer is very much like a battle of the mind, a battle of the wits? Like, not only with your characters, but with yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely days where I can find vacuuming way more enticing to do than writing stories.
I don't think I've gotten there yet.
But then as I'm vacuuming, I'm thinking of the story. So I'm like, okay, I'm working. It's fine.
You're still working your mind.
Yeah. So as long as I'm still doing that, I feel like that's a bit of progression forward. And I'm thinking a certain plot point, not worrying as in like I'm anxious, but worrying the issue, trying to shake it out. Like, okay, where is this going? Or whatever the issue might be. And I also tend to write longhand if a scene isn't working or it's not ringing true.
That's a good tip. Yeah.
I tend to write longhand because for me, that feels a bit more authentic. And I feel like I can make more mistakes longhand. I can cross it out, but I can still see what I've written in case I come back and I'm like, oh, that was right.
Yeah.
That was right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel I do a lot of longhand for like, if ever. When I started writing poetry. So I did that longhand. Any like short articles or short stories, I do longhand. Like anything short, right? But then if it goes into a book, like I'm definitely typing. But I guess the closest you could get with a book is if you type it out, print it out, and then cross out.
Which I also do.
Yeah, which is super helpful to do too. So,
yeah. However, I'm going to age myself again. In that I started writing before computers were really the most common thing you find in a household.
Yeah.
So I was 14.
Okay.
And that would be 1997. That's 15.
Yeah, I kind of remember those years. I'm 92, so like I remember you go to the little cafe and it's the dial-up and like I remember those years.
But we didn't have a computer for a while, so pen and paper would be my only choice.
Exactly.
And also I used to sleep with a notebook beside my bed.
Oh.
I actually still do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, still do. And just early in the morning I would be, okay, okay, I'm thinking about it. Let's try this out. Or late at night.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's great.
I do like the longhand. I find that it works well with my brain.
Yes. Well, would you like another round of hot chocolate? Or are you still going through yours? Mine's kind of cold. Like,
yeah,
marshmallows are cold. Do you want to do that? I'm going to see if we have.
What happened last time?
Yeah, so guys, there's this little mess of chocolate here. What happened again?
Well, I was pouring and I overcorrected and then I backed off.
Because we do have some questions, so we are going to ask them. Okay, this is actually a hot chocolate question.
No.
Would you guys recommend Kahlua or Bailey's in it? She's had a rough week, guys.
Oh.
So
I did it again. I'm not allowed to pour hot chocolate anymore.
Oh, you did it again?
Well, just a little bit.
Oh,
not
no.
as badly.
Did you burn yourself?
Oh, no, it's not
Okay,
that bad. It's
good.
fine.
Ooh,
Well,
yes,
yes.
a top up too.
Do you really want me to do ours?
Yes, it's fine.
It's
great. It's great. Perfect.
Oh, yay!
Woo!
Okay.
Good hot
Turn to
chocolate
turn.
pouring.
I
It's a good question.
don't actually drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
However, I think, given the option,
Yeah.
Bailey's is probably a good choice.
Yeah, I think I usually do Bailey's. I think, yeah, no, I've never done Bailey's and hot chocolate. Actually, they have the Bailey's latte at Tim Hortons.
I saw
I
that.
tried it for the first time. It was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah,
I'm
loved
really
it.
tempted.
Yeah.
I'm really tempted.
Like I didn't even know how much alcohol's in there. Like
Oh, would
you
there
really,
be?
you don't feel it at all. Like if there is, right? So yeah, they probably don't. I don't know. It's probably just I don't know.
No, I think I would choose Bailey's because I
It's
remember
delicious.
when I did drink when I was like, much younger.
Yeah.
I think I really like Bailey's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bailey's is good. I like Kahlua too, but I think I've had Kahlua more on like ice cream or something. Yeah, or amaretto on ice cream. Amaretto or Kahlua, one of the two. Okay, so we have one here. Are your characters based on real people that you know? I know the answer to this, but I'm sure everyone else is wanting to know.
Well, as I might have mentioned earlier, I think all authors are going to be inspired by and put a little bit of themselves or people they know inside their book.
Yeah.
It's actually really fun for me when people ask me, "Oh, I think I know who this is. Can you confirm or deny?"
Oh wow! So those are the people closest to you.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend message me. She goes, "Is this my father?"
Oh,
And it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't at all. But
That's
apparently
not
she
good.
could picture him exactly like her father.
Oh, that's
and I
funny.
thought that was hilarious because her father used to be my neighbor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you see, that I could see how that could happen pretty easily.
But one of my favorite characters, Jillian, she is a cross of 4 different people, 4 different women that I love.
Wow.
And I've told them all.
Like
that
an ultimate
they
love
are-
letter to them.
Well, that's what I was hoping. That's what I was
Yeah.
hoping they would feel. There are definite memories that I hold with each of them that I have put in that book specifically for them that they'd recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was nice. And obviously the main male character is somewhat inspired by my husband. Because,
Of course. You fell in love with him.
Right.
Now, did you have a meet cute with your husband?
No, we met online.
Okay. Okay, I guess it's not very meet cute.
It's not very meet cute. Not at all. And the female Danny character, I didn't do this on purpose, but upon reflection, when somebody asked me, who is she based off of? Is she based off of me? Partially in that I do love children and I like to be creative and I like silly sweaters.
And you are teaching.
My kids are
your own
homeschooled.
kids.
Yeah, my kids are homeschooled
so
right
you
now.
have that, kindergarten teaching capacity. Already.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I've had a daycare before. So it's not a world I'm unfamiliar with. I'm quite familiar with it. But the specifics of what she looks like is actually based off of my childhood babysitter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cute. So you've definitely had a good babysitter, good memories.
She was wonderful.
Yeah, because
Wonderful.
this Danny's beautiful, as I can tell in this book. And so is Danny Man, very handsome.
Danny Man, yes. It's funny. I've fan casted Danny, and it's because you mentioned.
Oh yes,
You
yeah.
mentioned Heartland. One of the characters in the TV series of Heartland, and I hope you're listening, would be perfect for my Danny, and I believe his name is Kevin.
Yes, I think so. Oh shoot.
Can
Let's find out. I'm gonna quickly find out.
Well, me too. Are we allowed to use our
Oh yes,
phones?
go ahead. Use your
Okay.
phones because it'll probably be easier than me using the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
You think I would know his name?
Yeah, he's in Heartland. He's also in One Calls the Heart, which is a
Oh, that's
Hallmark TV show, which I love.
So he's well versed in the
Yeah, he's a Canadian actor. He's very good.
even better. If
Yes.
we can have Canadians and a Canadian, that would be nice. Yes.
Yes.
If any of you know have any
Canadian
connections,
actors or actresses.
connections to the movie business in some capacity,
Mm-hmm.
I really think that this book would do well as a movie.
Yes,
Just saying.
I agree too. Like a nice Christmas special, Danny and Danny movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is not working.
And from what I hear, these types of movies are actually not very long to shoot. Like Hallmark movies, I was reading up on it, and they said like maybe 2-3 weeks tops.
Yeah.
Like you work hard.
Yeah.
But you get your little town and you just go for
And
it.
I've heard that a lot of movies are actually filmed in our area.
Yes. So Vancouver, Ontario. Yeah, actually, there was one, a Hallmark movie that was filmed, 20 minutes from here.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the actor's name is Kevin McGarry. If
Okay.
you're listening.
Kevin McGarry. I'm going to tag you on this.
That is who I would fan cast for my my male Danny.
Yeah, I love fan casting characters. Actually, I always fan cast them ahead of time before I even write the book. It helps me write the characters.
Yes,
Because from past body of work and then visualizing them, and yeah.
And I have a fan cast for the female Danny.
Okay, what is it?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, she'd be perfect for that role.
Right there. Yeah.
Yes.
So Bryce Dallas Howard.
Are you Canadian?
She is.
I don't think so.
However, we will make that exception for you.
Exactly. No, those two would be great. So, guys, Alexandria Fire, Danny and Danny can be found on
Amazon.
Mhm.
And you can also find it at Indigo Chapters.
Yes.
And I believe it's in a few local libraries as well.
Yeah, exactly. So let me see if we have any more questions. No more questions here. You still have time to put up questions. I have one more question for you. If you could write in any other genre, what would you write? And why would you write it?
Historical fiction. I know.
So you'll come into my territory.
I will come playing, yes.
Do you know like what kind of historical fiction you like to write? Or like what is your favorite historical fiction era?
Well, I quite liked the Outlander series.
Oh,
It still has romance. But
So would you do like time travel like that? Or?
Not necessarily the time travel,
Okay.
but I really like the idea. I really love the series of diving in with a big story.
Okay.
I think I would want to start at the beginning of the
Yeah.
era, whatever era,
Yeah.
and follow it for like 50 years.
Okay.
All through the various family lineages
Yeah.
and the ancestors. I really like
So it'd be like a whole family saga.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You would do.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
bring
Maybe
it.
take out like the rest of your life.
It might document every single day of this poor, unfortunate family because
Oh my.
why not?
Well, what about your own family roots? Like what is your nationality? Would you have maybe potential like ancestor stories that you could kind of root into and maybe, I don't know, write something like that?
So it's funny you asked that. My mother has actually done like a family history of both her sides of family, and my paternal uncle has also done their side of the family as well. So
nice.
I have a lot of those stories.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom is British,
Okay.
so from the UK.
Yeah.
And my ancestors on my paternal side are Irish.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so that could work. You know, British and Irish are pretty close to Scottish.
I know, it's not a huge leap.
No,
Not a
it
huge
isn't.
leap.
No. Wow, that's great. Yeah. Well, this has been really great. Do you have like any final thing you want to say to everyone viewing?
Well, I want to say thank you to you. You've
Aw.
been very gracious. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been fun with
And
the whole
I-
mess up of this and that and then
fun.
this.
Yeah, it's fun.
But it's been fun. It made the whole experience.
It's very authentic.
Yes.
And I'd like you to take a moment
Okay.
to talk about your upcoming book.
Yeah. So I do have an upcoming book
I'm very excited about
called this book has been in the works for like 2.5 years because I had the idea pretty soon after writing the sequel novella to Wisps of Gold, which is my Caribou Gold Rush novel. But I just sat with it a lot. I did some writing, but at the time, I guess over the last, not this year, but the 1.5 years before this one,
I was just feeling more needed in my family space, like just needing to put the writing aside, not completely aside, but that it wasn't a big priority at the time. I just felt like I needed to be with my kids, and then I had my 7th baby, which she's now 4 months old.
Oh my gosh, already?
So cute. Yeah. And but this past year, I don't know where it came from, but the fire just like lit up inside me, and I was like, okay, this is the year to get it done. So I was actually hoping to have it out this past October, but you know, things happen.
Grace. Give yourself
yeah,
grace.
exactly.
Yeah.
Give myself grace. The my photographer who usually does my cover design, she couldn't get out, and I could get out to her. This was back in September, so I did, and we shot the cover. But you know, it takes time for these things to come together. And then I was like, yeah, I need a little more time to finish the edits, get my beta readers in, which you're one of them.
So excited.
and then obviously once the beta readers are done reading it, I gotta do final edits, clinch it up, and then formatting. Oh goodness. I hate formatting. It's like that's the one thing about this whole process I hate, is the formatting. So I have someone who helps me with that.
Good.
Because she's a master on Microsoft Word.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'll probably do my best to format it the best, but then I'll be like, please help with these last few little mistakes that I just can't wrap my head around.
And that's part of it. When you're an author, you're having to find the resources and realize, okay, this is not my arena.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you this hat.
Yes.
You can wear this hat.
Yes. I think with my first book, it took me 2 weeks to format it. And I was at the point where I was so frustrated and crying and just...
Oh, we don't want that.
No, it was bad. It was so bad. And I had everything perfectly. Like, you know, the title at the top and my name at the top and all the page numbers. And there was just one page from one page that the page number was wrong. That was the only thing. You have to deal with page breaks and section breaks, like awful things. And then I found this friend. She's like, oh, I'm a master with Word. I can help you. She fixed it in 10 minutes. What? I was like, all those 2 weeks for nothing. So I'm going to give myself time for that. And then the book is up for pre-order right now on Amazon and all major ebook platforms. And it's basically, I'll tell you where it's set Northwest Territories, World War II. And it's the story of a woman who has been felt chained to her life in Edmonton through various reasons, expectations that she doesn't want to meet, a rough patch in her past that she's had to overcome, and consequences have come upon her family because of that. So she wants to break free. She wants to be her own woman, have her own independence, and she goes up north to this secret project that the United States was building, a road to Alaska through Canada and an oil pipeline to fuel their defense in the West against the Japanese. But the Japanese never invaded there, and it didn't come to pass. They were building this oil pipeline, and she goes there and she makes her own decisions in her own life. And from her decisions come consequences, ones that she's definitely not ready for and she doesn't want to deal with and tries to deal with on her own, but comes to a head where she has to make a choice and she has to ask for help, or not even ask for help. She has to accept the help because she's in a rough spot. Like, she's, wedged between the door and there's nowhere for her to move, and someone offers help in a way that she would never have asked for. And so follows her journey through there to learning what is unconditional love. That's kind of the main theme of the book, is I wanted to grasp that, because love is it's so misunderstood. It's so talked about, but I think all of us yearn for someone to love us unconditionally. Despite whatever faults or mistakes or choices that you've made,
warts and all,
warts and everything. Like, doesn't matter about your looks or your choices, that they just love you through it, that they're there for you. And so I really wanted to showcase that in a hopefully compassionate yet stimulating way. So that's what the book is, Unborn Melody, and it's available for pre-order. I am working on making it available as a paperback. So if you're anywhere in Canada, you can pre-order it, and then I'll mail it out to you.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. This has been so amazing. Thanks for coming on and for, again, dealing with the mess. But it was fun. It was great having you. Oh, here, let's see.
Oh, do we have one more question?
Oh, no, I have a comment here. Oh, my word. I would be beyond stressed if that was me doing all that editing. Yeah, it can be rough. It can be rough. But I think, yeah, we do our edits, then we get people to read it.
Yep.
You can get an editor to look at it. Like if that's not your strong suit, again, as
Not
you
my
said,
strong suit.
it doesn't have to be a lone journey.
No.
You can have people around you supporting you. And that's why I think it's so important that whatever you're doing, whether you're an author or a singer or whatever, that you build community around you to go through your situations together.
You're not meant to go through life alone.
Exactly.
There's no way.
There's no islands, okay?
Yeah.
We're not each an island. We're all like a nice little chain of islands or a nice continent.
And
We
even the
live
mom
happily.
community is important. Like, it's really hard to mom alone, and you
Yeah.
shouldn't if you are able to find somebody who understands you.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
wonderful. It's a
Yeah,
blessing.
it is. So, guys, thank you for coming on, and you are a blessing to us. It was fun hanging out with you with all these goodies, and I hope you had your own little goodies on the side to join us with. And yeah, that will be it for today.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.